Do 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 do. Oh, I feel like I'm moving slow. Moving slow because I'm exhausted. What I'm looking forward to in the later part of this year, which is not that far off, it's already July, August, September, we got Photokeen in September, is that Nikon is obviously going to announce their mirrorless camera. Oh, hooray, and it's not going to come out this year because they don't want to have the debacle they had with the Nikon D850 where there was a supply issue. Everybody's still complaining to Nikon. Some people have like, screw it, I'm sick of waiting for a D850, so the Nikon mirrorless camera won't come out until next year. Most admit that fact. Fujifilm, actually the only people I'm looking forward to for the end of this year, and what's dropping is the X-T3, the medium format. I don't know which I'm looking forward to more. Likely the rangefinder medium format, which is going to have the exact same sensor and image processing in it as the GFX. That's actually going to be magical. I know for a fact, and Fujifilm knows this, hardcore. Not only was the Fujifilm a much better made camera than the other cameras with the same sensor in it, like the Pentax Z and the mehh Leaf, and the Hasselblad X1D has been a total turd muffin. They can't give the thing away. I posted up ads showing that damn thing is half off in Europe. Half off. They still can't give it away. It's because Hasselblad doesn't exist anymore. It's just a Chinese-owned subsidiary country. Hasselblad is just a name, just like Singer Sewing Machine was bought out by the Chinese. Everybody's going to be, when I say everybody, I mean that hyperbolically. There are going to be a ton of people. There are a lot of people that told me from the get-go that, and I know the Fujifilm GFX cameras, you know, it's a lot of money. It's not expensive for medium format. It's really, really inexpensive. But I know it's an expensive camera, just flat out, period. But in the scheme of things, it's not, and I know a lot of people don't buy it. But a lot of people told me BS, and I told them, I said, no, you're wrong. Fujifilm has sold a pissload of GFX cameras by their own admission. They've said that, not in those exact words, but Fujifilm, I think the exact words Fujifilm used were, we're shocked. We sold a lot of GFX cameras, a lot of them. Considering what it is and relative, I almost bought a mehh Leaf. You know how much a mehh Leaf costs? Far inferior camera with the same sensor in it. Far more expensive lenses that are inferior to the Fujifilm GFX. Really expensive camera. I almost bought one a few years ago. Fujifilm is going to sell the hell. We already know for a fact it's going to be much cheaper than the GFX. It should be somewhere in the low $4,000, $3,800 to $4,200. Basically, it's going to look like a big fat X Pro 2. A digital rangefinder camera. Is it going to look exactly like an X Pro 2? I doubt it. But if people say, what's it going to look like? Well, like a big fat X Pro 2, essentially. That combined with the small lenses like the 63mm and the 45mm 2.8, which is the 45mm 2.8. The very last GFX lens I ever bought turns out to be the best one. My God, that lens is incredible! Oh my God. That's a small, lightweight lens. It's significantly smaller than this 80mm crop sensor lens on the Fujifilm X-H1 here. That's a small lens. That's going to be great, man. People are going to... What the hell is Sony or Nikon or Canon's answer to that? Literally overnight, not literally, but essentially overnight, Fujifilm dropped the GFX camera. Oh, this is great. My God, I love the GFX camera. If I could only have two cameras to live with, so you got to get rid of every camera, what would you keep? Well, it would be a tough choice, but GFX would be one of them. The other one would probably be the D850, because it's kind of like the jack of all trades and almost the master of all trades. Yeah, it'd be the D850 and the GFX. Yeah, I hate to say that. It's like, well, why not the XH1? You know, because I got a crap load of Nikon glass, right? Hundreds of Nikon lenses. One of them's got to be a Nikon. Damn it! People always, every time I say, so why wouldn't it be this camera? Why? Why? It's because I got a lot of Nikon glass. One of them's got to be a Fuji, one of them's got to be a Nikon. So it'll be the Nikon D850 and the GFX. So Fujifilm is going to drop later this year the X-T3. And I shouldn't say this. I know exactly when the X-T3 is going to be announced. I can also tell you for certainty it is not going to have IBIS in it. Not. I know that for a fact. It's not going to have IBIS. There'll be a lot of magical stuff about the X-T3. So the X-T3, the rangefinder, medium format. What the hell is anybody else's answer to that? It's like, hey, Fujifilm, you know, the follow-up to their awesome and really good-selling GFX has now come out with a much cheaper, smaller, it's still going to be a big camera. I mean, it has to be big because it's got a big old-ass, big medium format sensor in it. They've come out with an inexpensive, for medium format, it's going to be really inexpensive. Rangefinder, wow, I can't wait to get that. I really can't wait to get that. It's like, what are you going to say? What is any other company going to say in answer to that? I mean, you just have to nobody thinks about this stuff. Well, the camera, even if it's $4,000, is going to be expensive. Like, really? It's medium format? Really? Have you ever seen the RAW file? You ever, like, converted a Fujifilm lossless compressed RAW file into, like, a big old TIFF file and taken a look at it? I upload the JPEGs. People say, well, this is really impressive, but, I mean, you know, it's something like, you're really looking at a JPEG I uploaded to Flickr. You know, here's a link to a RAW file. Convert that to a TIFF and then look at it at 100%. And people go, oh my God! That's literally what happens 9 times out of 10. What the hell is going to happen later this year? Fujifilm's going to be dropping all the joy. The 8 to 16 millimeter for sure. I don't know if they'll drop the 200 millimeter f2 later this year. So I just about put money on it. I know the 8 to 16 is going to drop this year. Here in a few months, really. Going to announce it in a few months, drop later this year. So you got the X-T3, boom! The rangefinder GFX, boom! The 8 to 16 millimeter, boom! 200 millimeter f2, oh, huge lens. What else is Fujifilm going to drop? God, that's not enough. That's just killer. That's killer. Imagine this. If you like, I could do everything with just like an X-T3 and a GFX or the new GFXR. Someone's like, here's a portable camera, medium format output, finer than Frog here. I can walk around and do just like the most incredible street photography in the world, landscape photography, commercial photo. Obviously, all medium format is relatively slow. So is it going to be for hardcore sports action and wildlife? No. That's what the X-T3 is for. Or any other full-frame camera with a 600 millimeter f4 on it. But my God, hardcore commercial, product, portrait photography. Man, you stick that 110 millimeter f2, which is basically an 86 millimeter 1.4, basically an 85 1.4, on the GFX, crotch-melting, epic tatas. Whew. I have every GFX lens made, by the way. You know, later this year, I mean, Nikon's going to show you what they're going to give you next year. And I know why they're doing it. It's like, hey, this looks really promising. Meanwhile, Fujifilm. Meanwhile, Fujifilm brings you the joy. For Christmas, you could either have a medium format rangefinder or the awesome new X-T3. And here we got the wide angle zoom everybody's been waiting for, the 8 to 16 millimeter. I don't know how much that's going to cost, but it won't be cheap. But I can assure you I'll be one of the first people to snag one. I pay for all that stuff from Fujifilm, you know, by the way. I was the first person on YouTube to review the XH1. People say, oh, I bet you got that camera for free. And I was like, boom! I uploaded the receipt showing that I bought it at Robert's camera up in Indiana. Paid full retail for it. Just like everybody else. Put my money where my mouth is. Mic drop. I can't wait for the medium format and the X-T3 to drop from Fujifilm. Maybe I get Fujifilm tattooed right across my neck here. Be like, no, I've already got it tattooed on my hand. I think that's far enough. I can't wait, though, to be honest with you. I really can't. Thank you so much for watching, and Fuji!